any residential property for which a certificate of occupancy has not been issued by the appropriate jurisdiction requires a new construction Rep C for any offers. All cities and other municipal organizations require a final inspection by their inspector before authorizing occupancy. The inspection verifies the home is complete and has been built according to the applicable building code requirements. Real estate licensees should inquire as to whether the certificate of occupancy has been issued on a property for which they might be preparing an offer. It is possible for a home to have been completed for some time, but a certificate of occupancy never issued. The new construction Rep C contains several clauses specific to a new construction transaction. Uniform real estate contract. The uniform real estate contract is used when a seller wants to sell their property on contract. In this scenario, the buyer and the seller come to an agreement under which a purchase price is determined and payment plan agreed upon. If the buyer satisfies the term of the agreement, title will be transferred to the buyer at the end of the agreement. Selling on contract is different than seller financing. Under a seller financing scenario, title transfers to the buyer, and then the buyer begins making payments to the former owner as if they were the lender. When selling on contract, title does not transfer to the buyer until the purchase price has been paid according to the contract. If the buyer breaches the contract partway through the terms of the contract, they may lose all money paid and have no claim to ownership of the property. The details of the actual agreement are beyond the scope of this course. While licensees are legally able to complete the form, those unfamiliar with its provisions should seek competent counsel. All-inclusive trust deed and all-inclusive promissory note. When we discuss seller financing, the seller financing addendum refers to an all-inclusive trust deed and all-inclusive promissory note. These are the documents used for seller financing. The note is a document in which the buyer agrees to pay the seller according to the terms of the agreement. The trust deed is recorded against the property, placing the property as security for the note. The documents include the term all-inclusive to provide for the existence of financing the seller has on the property, which is going to remain on the property. If, for example, the seller still owes a mortgage on the property, they may not be able to pay off the mortgage at the time of seller financing. Therefore, the trust deed for the seller's mortgage will remain recorded against the property. The new trust deed for the new buyers will also be recorded against the property. If the trust deed is all-inclusive, it recognizes the existence of the first trust deed and note on the property. Other forms. We have discussed all the state-approved forms. You might be able to think of forms which a real estate licensee would need to complete but are not state-approved forms. For example, we did not review a state-approved listing contract. Surely, real estate licensees are able to complete listing agreements. Other forms do exist which licensees may complete. The general rule is as long as a licensed attorney has prepared the form, a real estate licensee may fill in the blanks. These types of forms appear in many situations. Most pre-approved forms available at office supply stores are prepared by an attorney. Licensees may fill in the blanks on these forms on behalf of their clients. Many larger builders want their own purchase contract for all of their transactions. In other words, they do not want to use a state-approved real estate purchase contract or real estate purchase contract for residential construction. Builder-specific purchase contracts may be used by licensees as long as the form itself was prepared by an attorney. Typically, the form will be prepared by the builder's attorney. Once the form has been prepared, real estate licensees may fill in the blanks. If a particular client's situation requires a form or clause which is not state-approved, an attorney should be hired to draft the appropriate documents. The attorney may be hired by the brokerage or the client. Real estate licensees must ensure they do not engage in the unauthorized practice of law. To do so exposes the licensee and client to unnecessary liability.